Let's see. Good morning. And I know Stacy reiterated why we're here, but I think for us, in many ways, it's Throwback Tuesday. I know that's supposed to be Thursday, but we're going to explain what that all means. And actually, I want to mention. I know we're gonna mention some names of people who are probably irrelevant to the media, but they're not irrelevant to the people here. So I want to acknowledge Barbara Taylor from our Open Space group, who's over here. Her and Barbara Baca, both former Parks and Rec directors. And the idea we're rolling out here today is a throwback to mostly their era, a version of that. So that is a little bit of context just historically for those of you who may have been following the city for quite some time. And it also is though why we're very excited about this program, because look, when I was even growing up as a kid or even now, literally once a week, I'm in the bosque, whether it's riding a bike with my kids or it's jogging with my dog or trying to even brave the waters in the Rio Grande a couple of times a year. This is a special place for us. And we know this. It's actually, there's all sorts of statistics we'll throw out. It's like the longest linear urban forest in America and things like this, and it goes right through the heart of Albuquerque. It's core to why our city is here. We're a city at a crossroads between the Rio Grande and between the pass into Harris and over across the volcanoes. So taking care of this space has to be a priority. Open space has to be a priority. And fortunately, Albuquerque is trading on decades of civic leaders, like the ones I just mentioned, who have always tried to take care of our open space. And that's why today we have more open space per acre per capita than any other city in America. It's one of the things we are awesome at. And when I say we are awesome at that, it is currently we are, and also in the past, we had massive efforts to make it so. And so for us, the question is, how do we protect and take care of our open space going forward? So today we're announcing the reinvigoration or the revamping of our open space unit. And we know that it was just maybe 9 months ago, we had to go through some changes with respect to how we deal with open space. We had to look at things like, when is there a higher need in open space? Because the need for police work and even fire work and open space work depends seasonally. It does vary, absolutely, with water levels and with also traffic that's in here. And of course, forest fires, right? So fire is also a danger. So we know that there's uneven staffing needs. We also know that the work that's done here is very specialized. And that's why you see all of these vehicles here behind me, which we continued to use throughout this period and used all summer. But you see a wide variety, whether it's our horses or it's the ATVs or it's the fan boat. These are all continuing to be used, but now we want to make sure we're getting to a little bit more specialized operation. And so our chief is going to walk through exactly how this is going to work. But basically, we are going back to what is a specialized open space conservation set of officers. So these are going to be particularly trained and specialized officers, but they are going to be used in different ways, and they're going to be a special type of officer. And again, we're going to walk through this. But at a high level, I think the good news is APD now, in cooperation with the county and city council, who is very helpful in putting this together, we're going to make sure that we sort of have a unified effort, a one Albuquerque approach to how we deal with open space. And I'm going to close my remarks by reminding everyone that even though we're here along the bosque, which is usually the focus in the summertime and the springtime, there's massive pieces of open space out on the petroglyphs and of course in the foothills. And so part of what we're announcing today is to make sure that we have the sort of right kind of patrol and officers in each of those spaces, because they're not always the same. I mean, obviously you don't need a fan boat in the foothills, but you do need some other different apparatuses that work better up there and some high mountain rescue and things of that nature. So we're very grateful to have our chief of police, who has, I think, dedicated himself to thinking through this issue. He knew he had to make changes back in the spring, and frankly, he had the courage and the leadership to do that. But he also had the ability to problem solve and learn and recognize that we have to do something different going forward. And that's why he's worked with our counselors and even our county commissioners and our city team and even our collective bargaining units to put together this new proposal. So with more on the new open space conservation officer effort, here's our Chief of Police, Harold Medina. Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to start with, I think, es muy importante que nosotros podemos hacer ciertos que a las personas de Albuquerque pueden venir a los open spaces y no tienen a penarse que algo va a pasar criminal a ellos. So, it's important that the citizens of Albuquerque are able to frequent the open spaces and not be worried about something criminal happening to them. In January, we reallocated our open space officers because we were dividing the Southeast Area Command, and our priority was to keep the city safe. Those open space officers went to the Southeast Area Command. They became the PRT, and that is a process that we're going to be looking to formalize in the future in the creation of the 7th Area Command, because we've gotten nothing but positive feedback from them. But I think it was important that we didn't leave our open spaces unprotected, and we created a collateral program, and behind me are some of the examples of that collateral program and what we did in the meantime to ensure that we continue to have coverage of law enforcement services in the Bosque. And it actually went above that. They conducted more cleanups in the Bosque than they had previously in the past. So the collateral program was very successful. But I knew there was a bigger and a bold way for us to really change how open space looked, and I thought upon early in my career and what open space looked like when I came onto the Albuquerque Police Department, but I also reached back into my past. I graduated from the University of New Mexico with a double major in biology and criminology, and I actually worked for the United States Forest Service for 3 summers while I was in college. I got to find the first northern goshawk in the Carson National Forest, and I was involved in both wildlife work and fisheries work. And I knew that we needed a new type of officer in the Bosque, so the communication began with the Albuquerque Police Officers Association. And I want to thank President Willoughby for working with us in developing this first program where we're going to be hiring individuals. And I knew that we could hire individuals who were more focused and able to provide service to the Bosque in the law enforcement sense, but also could be utilized as conservationists who could help open space in developing and maintaining a healthy Bosque above just it being safe from criminal activity. So our whole goal now is to reach out and to find individuals who could directly be hired into the Albuquerque Police Department that have that background in some type of field such as conservation, or have worked for game and fish departments or park services across this country. Our pay is much more competitive than some of those agencies across the western United States pay, and we're very competitive, and we're very hopeful that we're going to be able to fill these positions going forward. The new unit is going to be a big improvement over the past unit. The old unit had 3 to 4 officers. They had coverage Sunday through Wednesday, very little coverage Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And the new unit is going to consist of a day shift and a swing shift squad that's going to be about 19 hours of coverage a day, 7 days a week, with 6 officers being assigned to day shift and an additional 9 being assigned to the swing shift, 2 sergeants, and they'll answer to an APD deputy commander. So we're very excited that we're also going to be keeping the PSAs. That will be 3 PSAs on day shift with 2 PSAs on swing shift. So if you do the numbers, we'd be going from a unit that had 3 to 4 individuals plus a sergeant assigned, no PSAs, to 12 new hires that we're going to be recruiting for, 3 original members from open space going back, 2 supervisors, and the 5 PSAs, and it equals a number somewhere around 22 to 23 people that will be assigned to work in the Bosque from this point forward. The most important thing to remember is we managed our resources from within APD. We'll only be losing those original 3 officers that were assigned to open space, and we'll be recruiting. And we're urging anybody who's graduated from the field in some type of conservation or wildlife field to be looking for these job advertisements. They're already posted on the internet, and we're also looking for laterals from any of these types of entities to apply for the Albuquerque Police Department and be part of our new conservation open space entity that will be working. So I want to thank the mayor for allowing us to take this bold step forward for us to reimagine how we do law enforcement in our open spaces. I want to thank our 2 city councilors, counselors for helping us in ensuring that we were able to get this off the ground, and the commitment to getting the equipment and everything needed to have this unit up and running as it comes forward. Our county commissioners for the conversations they had with us, and hopefully we could continue to partner with them in expanding and making sure that we have one of the most beautiful but safest open spaces in the United States. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Chief. Now, as Chief and I mentioned too, we have some counselors who care a lot, of course, about our open space, but also were very helpful in sort of talking through the different programs that we were looking at. And so want to give them a chance to speak a little bit. So let's hear from first Counselor Tammy Feeblecorn. Counselor.
Hi, everybody. I love open space. I wrote my thesis on how to protect and preserve open space, and all these years later, I wish I would have had Albuquerque as the example, because we've done it right. From the petroglyphs to this unique bosque, all the way over to the mountains, we have the most amazing open space system anywhere. It really does set us apart from everywhere else on the planet. We have a great place where anybody in our city, very close to their home, can go and do whatever activities they want. They can go and sit and contemplate, watch wildlife, or they can do strenuous activities. We have something for everyone in our open space system. It also helps us with climate change, right? It helps us negate the impacts of climate change. It helps us reduce the impacts of the urban heat island. And it is a home for hundreds and hundreds of species of wildlife. So it's a really important thing for our city to protect. It's one of our most valuable resources. And for that reason, for all of those reasons, that's why we have to do everything in our power to protect our entire open space system. Now, this new APD Open Space Unit, I think will do that. We want a team that is dedicated to the open space, that will be a proactive presence in open space. This team will do that. We want a team that's got in-depth knowledge and skills around wildlife conservation and open space preservation. This team has that. And we want a team of expert law enforcement officials who can respond quickly to any and all problems in our open space. And again, this team will do that. So that's why I'm so happy to be here today to let the citizens of Albuquerque know that this new APD Open Space Unit will be able to give us all the peace of mind we all deserve to know that our precious and vital open space is protected now and in the future. I want to thank APD and the Chief and Parks and Recreation Director Simon for working with Councilor Grau and I to make this happen, to make a project that completes all of the things that we heard from our constituents that they wanted. They want safe, clean, open space that they can enjoy, and that the wild animals and wildlife can enjoy, and this is what we're giving them. So thank you.
Okay, and also with us today is Councilor Renee Grau.
Thank you all. I couldn't have said it any better, Councilor Feeblecorn. I am very pleased that this is taking place, and I want to thank the administration, Open Space, Parks and Rec, and all the constituents that reached out to us. They were very concerned. We are truly blessed to have the open space that we have, from the west side to the east side, and right here in the middle. And I know that I'm thankful for the team, everybody that came together. They listened to us, and I'm very excited for the future of our city and the safety and keeping our area safe and our city safe. I'm very excited for the Chief Medina's vision of bringing law enforcement, conservation together. I think it's very important. Again, I'm excited. I'm just thrilled. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, counselors. Okay, now with a little bit more on this from the open space civilian perspective, our Director of Parks and Rec, Dave Simon.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to echo my appreciation to Mayor Keller for keeping this item on the top of our to-do list, and to Chief Medina, to our city councilors. And I'd like also to add in a great show of appreciation for the men and women of the Albuquerque Police Department, as well as the employees of Open Space, the division within Parks and Rec, many of whom are here. These are the folks who are out here on the ground every day, rain or shine, mostly shine, and they know these resources well. They care about them deeply, and it's our people on the ground who care and know these resources, who deliver the protection, they deliver the education that we as a city want for our precious open space areas. So thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chief, for sticking to our plan to get to this day. The City of Albuquerque is going to mark the 40th anniversary of our open space program next year. 2024 will mark the 40th anniversary of the nation's best open space program. We currently have about 30,000 acres of major public open space, and the city continues to protect more land as open space, to increase equitable access to open space, and expand programs of all kinds that bring the benefits of open space to the people. Now, some time ago, we began discussing a new vision for APD's open space program with the mayor and the chief, and it was an approach that we believed would strengthen the entire open space program, provide better service to the public, and increase professional opportunities for our officers. We have arrived at that moment. The conservation officer model works, and it's exactly what open space needs. As Chief Medina outlined, the new reimagined APD Open Space Unit is going to come back full and stronger than ever before in the history of open space. More officers and staff resources will be dedicated to the open space unit than ever before in the history of open space. And the partnership between our employees at Parks and Rec, Open Space Division, and APD is strong. It has been strong for 40 years and is now going to be stronger than ever. The Open Space Division, the Parks and Rec Department, is really looking forward to working side by side with APD to build and empower this unit. We're very excited to begin working to assist APD in the recruitment and training of these specialized conservation officers. And we know this model works because many of us, if you're fortunate enough to have maybe a formative experience meeting a ranger somewhere out on a state park, a federal land conservation unit, or maybe a national park, you know the incredible power, particularly on children, of meeting an officer, a ranger in uniform, who not only is there to serve, protect, but also to educate about the importance, the unique attributes, and the importance of protecting these places for future generations. Our community colleges and universities in New Mexico and in surrounding states are churning out graduates who have backgrounds in land management fields. These are ideal candidates to become APD conservation officers and serve open space in our city. And we know this is going to be an incredibly popular professional endeavor and career pursuit for many, many people. And once again, the City of Albuquerque is providing another avenue for people to bring their skills and their passion, in the service of our great city. In many respects, we're applying a community policing model also to our open space unit. These officers, men and women, are going to not only be providing law enforcement presence and safety, they're also going to be setting as role models to people of all ages about the importance of conservation and environmental education. Thank you again, Mayor and Chief. I'm excited about where this unit's going to take our city. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dave. All right, so what we're going to do, especially so all these hardworking city folks can get out of the sun, if you've got questions, Danielle will organize them, but we'll kind of just officially stop. So folks can go on about keeping our city safe and working out in the bosque. So thanks so much, everyone, for coming. Thank you.